It is I, John Reagan, the uncommon voice for the common man, coming to you today live from Shadyside, Ohio, where I have more than a few things to say about EPA Regional 6 Chief Al Armanda's absolutely incredible comments. Now, in case you don't know who Big Al is indeed a commissioner in Region 6 for the EPA. That region consists mainly of Texas and Oklahoma. Now, this guy was appointed to his position in 2009 by guess who? That would be Big Daddy Obama. This guy was a professor at Southern Methodist University and apparently is one of these big-time government environmentalist wackos that just happens to be the head honcho for the EPA in that area of the country. Now, Big Al seems to think that the EPA is the new Romans of today's world. That's right, the new Centaurians. So I have another name for Big Al that I like even better than calling him Big Al, and that is Gaius Epiaeus, named after a very famous Roman general, Gaius Marius. Now, Gaius Epiaeus has opened up a big can of worms for Big Daddy Obama, and I would like to comment on that and mention to you what has happened around this neck of the woods in the Ohio Valley with Obama's EPA. Now, Gaius Epiaeus had this to say about companies and compliance with the new EPA regulations and how they're going to get these companies to comply with said regulations. He said this, quote, "The Romans used to conquer little villages in the Mediterranean. They'd go into a little Turkish town somewhere, they'd find 5 guys they saw, and they would crucify them. And then that town was really easy to manage for the next few years. And so, to make examples out of people who are, in this case, not compliant with the law," let me stop right there. The law? No, it's not a law. It's a directive. There was no law passed. This is just new regulations that they came up with under orders from Obama. So it's not like this is duly legislated law. This is just a directive from the chief EPA commissar himself, Big Daddy Obama. But I continue. Find people who are not compliant with the law, and you hit them as hard as you can, and you make examples out of them, and there is a deterrent effect there. And of course there's a deterrent effect. And companies that are smart see that, and they don't want to play that game. And they decide at that point it is time to clean up. And that won't happen unless you have somebody out there making examples of people, end quotation. So this is what Gaius Epiaeus is saying about private companies. He's basically threatening them or telling people how to threaten them. And he uses the word crucify. This is nothing more than the EPA and Obama's war on capitalism and the private sector. Make absolutely no mistake about it. Now, Gaius Epiaeus has since apologized for his remarks, but I am here to tell you something. He said what he meant, and he meant what he said. There is no doubt about it. If there is any doubt whatsoever that Obama's people are anti-capitalist and anti-free market and basically are a bunch of damn communists and Marxists, this should prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I don't give a tinker's damn if this guy has apologized or not. He said it and he meant it. And the cat is out of the bag. And if I were Mitt Romney, I'd be using this little incident here all over the upcoming campaign. Because I'm telling you this right now, I want to tell you why. Because it involves where I live. Now, I live in the Ohio Valley, right along the Ohio River, and in Belmont County, Ohio. Right across the river from us is West Virginia. There are a lot of coal mines in this area. All of our power comes from coal-fired power plants. Now, when Big Daddy Obama tried to get cap and trade passed, all these moderate Democrat senators, like the ones in West Virginia, like Jay Rockefeller, Joe Manchin, and even the ones over here from Ohio, did not want anything to do with passing cap and trade. Now, let me tell you about cap and trade. Now, cap and trade is this emissions trade-off deal that Obama came up with. It is a very controversial policy of his. But he wanted to pass this through the Congress. And, of course, they couldn't get it through the Congress. No self-respecting moderate Democrat would vote for it. So this left Obama with very little choice to try and get his very, very stringent regulations passed by doing an end around and basically sicking the EPA on all these coal-fired power plants. That's what he did. In fact, the Los Angeles Times had a story about this, where Big Daddy was quoted as saying this, quote, "If you want to build a coal-fired power plant, you can if you want to, but you're just going to go bankrupt because of all the emissions regulations that my administration is going to pass," end quote. Now, the Los Angeles Times sat on that story until about 2 days before the election. Why? Because Obama needed all those votes in Ohio and Pennsylvania, and if these people around here knew what he was up to when it comes to closing down all these coal-fired power plants and throwing all these coal miners out of work, he'd have never got elected. I guarantee it, and I'm going to prove it. Because, as mentioned, he could not get cap and trade passed through the legislature, through the House or the Senate. His own party wanted nothing to do with it. So what did he do? He sicked the EPA on all these coal-fired power plants right here where I'm sitting. In fact, he closed down 6 coal-fired power plants. Most of them were in West Virginia, but I believe there were 1 or 2 of them in Pennsylvania. But at any rate, they were closed down. The existing coal-fired power plants had to upgrade all the scrubbers that they have on their remaining plants just to keep up with the EPA very stringent code. Now, that's going to cost this power company, American Electric Power, who I get my power from, and it's going to cost them a great deal of money. Now, of course, they're going to pass that cost on to us because they're going to get their money back somewhere, and you know that they're going to make our electric bills go through the roof. But Obama doesn't give a damn about that. As long as they comply with his regulations and clean up the air and stop all these damn emissions, he could care less what the average American's electric bill would be as long as they comply. But he had a problem here too, because all these coal miners and all these people around here just went absolutely berserk when they started doing this. That's right, all these coal miners that live around here could see themselves very rapidly being phased out of a job thanks to Obama and the Environmental Protection Agency. So there were rallies all over the place around here. Stop the EPA. There were a bunch of them. People in this part of the country were very, very upset about it, and they wanted something done about it. And what happened? Well, Obama, once again, the politician that he is, could see all those electoral votes in Ohio and Pennsylvania being flushed right down the toilet. So he had to do something. So what did he do? He went in and told his buddies at the Environmental Protection Agency it might not be a good idea to start enforcing these new regulations now. Well, basically because I'm afraid my ass won't be reelected if you do so. So the EPA backed off, and now it's not an issue around here anymore. Until Gaius EPAist just shot off his mouth down here in Texas. Now, that's why I'm trying to get across to you Republicans, Mitt Romney in particular, to use Gaius EPAist's comments in the upcoming campaign. I am telling you this right now. What Gaius EPA said is probably the most damning thing that you could use against Obama in this upcoming campaign in this part of the country where I'm sitting. Because I guarantee you this right now. These people that live along this river are big-time union people. And they are basically controlled by the union hierarchy which supports Obama. Which doesn't make any sense to me because the United Mine Workers hierarchy supports Obama, and Obama's going to sick the EPA on him and close down all these coal mines. It doesn't make any sense to me. except for the fact that I see a little bit of money being exchanged, here. I am sure of that. And the one thing about it is, though, even if the hierarchy at the United Mine Workers Union might go along and support Obama, even though he's cutting their throats, the rank and file isn't that stupid. In fact, the places that I go to and I talk to coal miners, they really don't care for Obama. And I don't think they're going to vote for him because they are not going to see themselves lose their job. And it is just that simple. But if you wanted any doubt that Obama is an anti-capitalist, anti-free market, and is basically, for all intent and purposes, a damn Marxist, then all you got to do is listen to what Gaius EPAS had to say. He threatened to crucify private companies. Now, that in itself should tell you something about the mindset of Obama. I'm telling you this right now. He said what he meant, and he meant what he said. They are all anti-capitalist and anti-free market. They are nothing but a bunch of damn communists. That is just all there is to it. And I got some other news for you. There's this little thing going on here where I'm sitting right now called fracking. There's a big, big natural gas deposit right where I'm sitting, the Marcellus and Utica Shale. And people around here, they're drilling for this, and they're tapping into it. And they use a process known as fracking. That's basically taking a lot of water and high pressuring it to crack the shale to open it up so that the natural gas will come out. There's a big find of it here, and it's going on all over the place. Now, this same guy, Gaius EPAS, seemed to have a little run-in with this fracking procedure down in the state of Texas, and he ran down there and said that this fracking procedure apparently is polluting all the groundwater. Of course, there's no scientific evidence to back this up, but he says it nonetheless. In fact, there's absolutely no scientific evidence to back this up. Now, I'm not saying that we should go ahead and just do this without precautions, and to hell with the groundwater. It needs to be safe, and it needs to be looked into. But just to come in and unilaterally shut it down without any evidence that there is any polluting of the groundwater is absolutely ridiculous. Find out first, and then let's do something about it. But it's like global warming. They have no evidence. And if they don't have any evidence, they just make it up. Remember what happened with the UN Climatic Research Unit at West Anglia University? They just made up the numbers. Once they found out that the numbers that they wanted to get didn't fit their model, they just made them up. And then they were caught doing that. And we all know that global warming's nothing but a leftist fraud. That's just all there is to it. And that's what this damn carbon emissions thing is. It's nothing but left-wing propaganda. And it's just more excuse for bigger and bigger and bigger government control. And it is just that simple. Until next time, this is your favorite conservative, Ronald Reagan, saying this to you now. Let me explain something to you people. It's here now, it's in Texas now, but it'll be you next. I guarantee it. Because if this guy's reelected, he will shut down all these coal-fired power plants. Your electric bill is going to go up, and you're going to have him and the damn environmentalist wackos to thank for it. Oh, and by the way, how do you think that $9 a gallon gas is going to feel to you? Until next time, I say this now. Over!